So this is the hints for S5 National 5 Homework Sheet 12. In question 1 we're asked to solve the equation 3x minus 4 divided by 2 take away 2x minus 5 all over 3 is equal to minus 17 over 6. Now the first thing we'll be looking to do here is get rid of the fractions. Okay, you can work with fractions if you want, but it's much easier to multiply by a number and work with whole numbers. Now, the number we would multiply every term by to get rid of these fractions is 6. Okay, so we multiply each term by 6. So this first term here, 3x minus 4 divided by 2, what we do is you do 6 divided by 2, that gives you 3. So we're going to multiply that first term by 3. Second term, we'll do 6 divided by 3, which gives you 2. So we'll multiply that second term by 2. And because we multiply minus 17 over 6 by 6, 6 divided by 6 just cancels and leaves you the minus 17. So when you get to this stage, multiply out the brackets and solve for x. In question 2 we're asked to simplify x cubed times y to the minus 2 divided by x to the power of minus 2 times y to the power of 4. Now we can't combine these terms here, we can't combine that to make xy because they have different bases. So we can't combine that x and y term. So we need to deal with each term differently. So what we've got is we've got x cubed y to the minus 2 divided by x to the minus 2, y to the 4. So you need to deal with x terms first. Okay, so we're dividing, so it means we're going to take the powers away. So that's going to be equal to x to the power of something, multiplied by y, and again, we're dividing, so we're going to subtract our powers. Okay, so you deal with each term separately, we can't combine them, because they've got different bases. So your final answer can't be xy. Okay, you can't combine them because they've got different bases. In question 3, we're told the straight line is an equation 2y plus x equals 4, and we're asked to find the gradient of this line. So what we need to do is we need to take this expression, 2y plus x equals 4, and rearrange it into the form y equals mx plus c. So we need to move the x onto the right hand side, and when we get y on its own we can work out the gradient, that's just a number in front of the x. In part B, we're told that a second line is parallel to the line in part A and it passes through the point minus 2, 5. Parallel lines have the same gradient, so you use m from above. Okay, so whatever your gradient value is from part A, you'll use that and you'll substitute it into the formula y minus b equals m x minus a. So in question 4 we're asked to change the subject to the formula so that this small a is on the left hand side on its own. So what we need to do here is we need to move everything over to the other side apart from the small a. So to start this question off, we've got a fraction, a half times h in brackets a plus b. Now we want to get rid of that half. To do that, we multiply both sides by 2. When I do that, it means that the half times 2 just gives you 1, and we multiply the a by 2, so it gives us 2a is equal to h, a plus b. So when it jumps the equal sign, you're performing the opposite function. So if it's times in, you divide, add, you subtract, and so on. So you want to get all your terms on the other side, so you're left with a on its own, and find out what a is equal to. In question 5 we're asked to remove the brackets and simplify. So it's 3 minus x times x minus 1 times x plus 5. So we can't FOIL this using 3 brackets, so what we need to do is break it down into 2 calculations. So we'll bring the 3 minus x down, and then we can expand the second bracket. Okay, so we'll use FOIL on the second set of brackets, so it will be x times x then plus x times 5, plus minus 1 times x, plus minus 1 times 5. Okay, so we can expand the second set of brackets, and your answer will go in here. When you do that, you need to break it down. We can't use FOIL because you're going to have 3 terms inside this second bracket. So you break it into 2 steps. You times every term by 3. Okay, you need to multiply it by both terms in this first bracket here. So to break it down, we multiply every term by 3. And then second of all, we multiply every term by minus x. And then we collect our like terms and tidy up our answer. So in question 6 we're asked to simplify root 48 plus 2 root 75. What we need to do here is we need to simplify the square root of 48 and the square root of 75 by finding the highest square factor. Okay, so you list your factors for both numbers, pick out the highest square number. Now be careful when you're dealing with this term 2 root 75. Okay, that means 2 times the square root of 75. So when you simplify the square root of 75 in its simplest form, you need to multiply the answer by 2. Okay, so when you simplify the square root of 75 and put it in its simplest form, you need to multiply your answer by 2. Then to finish the question off, you add your 2 simplified surds together. So in question 7 we're asked to simplify the expression x squared plus x minus 12 divided by 2x squared minus 18. To do this we have to factorise. Okay, so the numerator is a trinomial, which means you split it into 2 brackets. Now the denominator, we can't factorise that expression straight away, so what we need to do is we need to take out a common factor. Do we have a common factor? Yeah, we do. Both numbers can be divided by 2. So if we take a common factor out of 2, that gives us x squared minus 9 in the brackets. Now that expression can still be factorised. Okay, so your next step would be to fully factorise the denominator of this expression, and then you can simplify from there. In question 8 we're asked to evaluate the expression 6.25 times 10 to the minus 4 all squared divided by 1.3 times 10 to the power of 6. So what you're looking to do here is you're looking to type that into your calculator, get your answer in standard form, and then round to 2 decimal places. Okay, so just put this into your calculator and round to 2 decimal places. So in question 9 we're asked to solve the equation 2x squared plus 3x equals 4, giving our answer to 2 decimal places. So what we need to do here is we need to rearrange so that that equals 0, because you can't solve the equation unless the right hand side equals 0. So 2x squared plus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now we're going to need to use the quadratic formula here, which is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And you'll get your values of a from the equation above, as the quadratics are written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So you can get your values of a, b and c from there, and then plug it into your formula. So in question 10 we're told that a square plot of land is extended by 1 metre in one direction and 3 in the other direction, as shown in the diagram here. So we're looking to find an expression for the length of the rectangle. So if we start off with a square plot of land, that means that both sides must be x metres long. Okay, so if we're looking for an expression for the length, we're thinking, what way are we going, or what are we adding on, sorry, to my original x? Okay, so what am I having to add on to my original x? And that'll be your answer there. For the breadth, we're thinking, again I'm starting with my side x. Okay, so it's a square plot, So both lengths are x, but we're expanding that by 1 metre. So what am I doing to x metres? What am I adding on to expand that? And that'll be your answer there. In part 3, you're asked for the area of the rectangle, okay, so that's the new garden area that we've just expanded to. So what you'll do here is the area is equal to length times breadth, and you just worked out your two sides, which is the length and the breadth. So we'll use your answer from part I and multiply it with your answer from part 2. Okay, so use your answers from part 1 and 2, multiply them together. And in the final part of this question, it's telling you that the area is equal to 63 metres squared. Okay, so the area of the new rectangle is 63 metres squared. So going back to the page before, that means that 63 is going to be equal to your answer from part 1 times your answer from part 2. So then we'll be looking to solve for x. Okay, solve for x. In question 11, we're told that after a 4.2 pay rise, Jessie is earning £22,924 per year. We're asked what was her wages before the increase. So if there's a wage increase of 4.2%, that means her wages are 104.2% more than what they were before the wage rise. Okay, so 104.2% is equal to 22,924. So this question is a reverse percentage. So you're looking to find 1% and then multiply to find a 100%. Okay, so when you find 1%, times by 100 to find 100%, and that will give you Jessie's wage before the pay rise. I hope this has helped.